everybody. I hope that you're all doing well. The tarot deck that I'm using is called the Radiant Tarot. The first card that we have out is Two of Pentacles. I'm getting something about choices here. Five of Swords. The way that this energy feels is like, you know that something is important, or that you have to focus on it, or that you have to do it, but you may not want to. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this a little bit. Because Two of Pentacles is about the stuff that it does hold importance, but then having Five of Swords there can be like, I didn't want to have to do that. And like, what does that mean then? It means that maybe this is a time when you're going to reevaluate something and say, am I placing importance on something and I'm not really aligning with that anymore? Or it can be a time when you need to like shape up a little bit here. That can be something as well. It's like, I just see it as being like one of two things. Like, one of the things is that you can be saying something's important, but then you're addressing it as if it's important, and you're like, why am I doing this? Or like, I don't want to be doing this right now. And you can look at that and ask yourself, if I'm feeling this way about it, why am I placing importance on this? And I feel like that then is going to clarify something important for you, where you're either going to look at that and say, I need to recheck what I'm prioritizing and maybe switch that around a little bit. Maybe you're prioritizing something that you feel like you're not getting what you need from it, or it's not prioritizing you, or it's not benefiting you in a way that you need for it to. Or maybe this is just looking at something and deciding like, this is actually the best thing for me, and then that feeling of conflict can go away by thinking about it. You know, it's like maybe being mad that you're over here eating a salad, but you feel like that's the best thing for you to be doing, and you can feel disgruntled about it, but when you think about it more deeply, you can be saying, I think that this is going to be good for me. Maybe throw in like a little bit more balance there for yourself. Or you can be looking at something that you're doing and you can be feeling resentful, or you can be feeling a type of way. And then you can ask yourself, why am I placing importance on this if this is the way that I feel about it? So either way, this is going to be helping you clarify something that you are actively choosing and why you feel that way about it, and whether or not that's something that you feel like is benefiting you, good for you, or you feel like this is something that maybe you need to rearrange. Maybe this isn't so important. It's going to be one or the other here with this. But yeah, you don't want to keep doing this and not think about it more deeply and then be feeling a type of way. Because Five of Swords is showing we're not feeling good about something. So it can be like, you know what this reminds me of? Like doing a favor for somebody, but you didn't really want to, but you didn't say no. So it's like, yeah, I'm picking up their kids after school, and like you didn't really want to be doing it. And you can be like driving them home, like whatever, you know, but you can just be feeling mad about it. You see that? Like, I see a furrowed brow here with this. And you can be like, I told myself that this was important, or this is something that I'm supposed to be doing, but maybe it's not actually. But maybe you're going to have to look at that a little bit more and tell the truth about it to yourself. Because maybe you don't want to be doing this. If you're spending your time doing something, because your energy is precious, right? It's valuable, right? If you're spending your time doing something and you are looking at it and you are feeling a type of way, it's about figuring out why you're feeling a type of way. If this is so important, if you're spending your time doing it, why would you be feeling a type of way about it? And I don't even think that for each of you it's going to be the same answer. Like, this can be something different. It's reminding me of that meme with the little penguin where it's like has a frown, but it's like doing some type of like arts and crafts, like with the hearts and stuff. For any of you guys that know what that looks like, it's like doing something that that like appears to be like nice, but the penguin looks really angry. And so, yeah, maybe there's also, maybe you're doing something and you're feeling like there's a really different thing going on in your head and like your vibe and the way that you're feeling versus what it is that you're doing. Maybe that's also something too. Like if you're doing something that you feel like is worth your time and energy and is so important, wouldn't you be like, I'm on track? Like, why would you be feeling in conflict about something? Or why would you be feeling like not settled about something if it's so important? If you're placing importance on it, some of you, you're not going to stay doing this. I'm seeing an 8 of Cups here. Maybe you have to check again. You have to go back one more time just to make sure that you hate doing this. I feel like there can be a feeling of you being scared to step away, though. Because 2 of Pentacles feels like, I actually don't think that something is a priority for you anymore, but 5 of Swords feels like continuing to do it and then feeling a type of way about it, whether you internalize this or whoever it is that you aim this on, because you actually don't want to be doing this anymore. And that 8 of Cups just solidifies this. Having the Sun, this can be coming to light. You guys know what I'm saying? If you have something and it truly is aligned with your values and what you're meant to be prioritizing, you will feel happy when you're doing that thing, or you will feel at peace, or you will feel content, or you will know that that's the best thing for you. If you are doing something and you are not, and you're feeling like this, look at the face. Look at the face. If you're feeling like that about something that you have going on, it means that you're meant to be exiting this situation here. Because if something is truly like sustainable and compatible for you, you're not going to be feeling like that. Some of you too with the 5 of Swords, you can be feeling unappreciated. And then you're asking yourself, like, why am I placing importance on this if I'm feeling like I'm not getting what I need back from that? So yeah, with the 8 of Cups, this is always going to be this question of, like, do you feel satisfied doing this or not? Do you feel like this is a fulfilling thing for you to be prioritizing? 5 of Swords can be saying, no, there's something else that's going on here. And then you can be asking yourself, if I'm feeling this way about it, why would I keep doing this? Why is this on the top of my to-do list then? Why do I keep placing importance on this? Why am I telling myself that this is so important that I keep doing when this is the way that I feel? So maybe you want to give this some like less priority within your life right now. Some of you altogether, you're going to be stepping away with that 8 of Cups. Oh, I'm seeing the Devil. Maybe you keep going back into this because you don't want to have to face the Devil. Damn. With an energy like this. So this is the situation that we have going on here. You're focusing on this. You're using your energy for this. This is what is circulating. And I see this more of like, right now on the daily, this is something that you're spending your time doing, but the feeling that you have inside about it, it's not a happy feeling about this. And 8 of Cups can be, when 8 of Cups came out, the Sun was on the bottom of the deck. So this can actually be a realization that you're making now, that you actually, that there's a disconnect here for you. Having the Sun can be the epiphany about that. It can be a realization about it. It can be a, oh, like now something is clicking. But because of having the Devil over here, if you were to really walk away from this, you would have to face something that you may not want to have to face, and then you may go back into this situation, but then you're feeling this way. So I wonder if you're like in a little bit of a loop here. It's like you do the thing, you don't feel good about it. You say, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, this does not feel, I don't feel settled with this. I don't feel connected. I don't feel like I'm getting what I need. And then I start to go, and then it's like the Devil scares you back into the cycle again. So you go around and around and around and around. So I wonder just if you feel like you've been going around and around and around with this cycle. I'm also seeing Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so you can be like, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. Even though you do know what to do, but you can just be like, you know, having to face that. It may be something that you don't want to. Because when we have the Devil, it means that we really have to face our fears. It means that we have to face the ways that we bypass through materialism. It's about having to face our attachments as well. But the thing that's always so ironic about this energy is that you're attached to something that you don't feel happy with. Does that guy look happy there? You don't feel very happy. But it's like feeling attached just to the like routine of this, the familiarity of this. Well, I already put time into it, so I'm just going to keep doing it. That can definitely be the energy with the Devil. I invested already. It doesn't matter if I'm happy or not. We have the Hanged Man here. I would say that you can feel extremely caught up in this situation. There's something that this has deep tethers that you are connected with. Having both Devil and also Hanged Man here. But what you're going to end up finding is that once you actually move through this with the Hanged Man and you see what you need to see about this situation, you're going to realize that the reason that you've been doing it is maybe different than what you initially thought. Because we can swear that somewhere is like where we're supposed to be. We don't feel good about it, and then we can convince ourselves this is just the sacrifice that I'm making. And then you're going to look and you're going to realize that I'm telling you, when Hanged Man is here, it means that we haven't totally seen something. But on the other side of the Hanged Man is the Devil. So this means that when you realize, you're going to look at something and say, that was actually not what I thought that it was. And I convinced myself that I was doing this for these reasons, and this was why, and this was important. And then what you're going to end up seeing is that something else was going on. You were in this cycle for a different reason. And you can actually get to the bottom of what your real reasoning was. And it can be what your real motivation was, what your real reasoning was, why you were connected with a cycle like this. And it's going to be different than you thought it was. And this is going to give you a bit of a new lease. But only because it's going to change the way that you're seeing things. You're going to see too that you feeling a type of way is not the problem. It's actually the answer. A very important answer that's going to help you move through this cycle. When that can actually be the thing that you feel most resistant towards, when really it's the thing that's most helpful for you within this. Because of having to face the Devil, there can even be something that you've been shying away from. It's kind of like there's something here that you would have to face in order to get to the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is on the other side, but you can be running away from the Ace of Cups, and see how the Ace of Cups is there, but you can be running away from it because you don't want to have to face this. Because you can be at this point where you're like, okay, well, what is most important to me? What do I want to be spending my time doing? What do I want to connect with? And it can be the Ace of Cups. But you can be in another situation that's actually keeping you from the Ace of Cups. But it's actually like your fear of This can be leaving, of exploring, of honoring the way that you feel, the fear of that, and having to face some type of, it's some type of fear. That's what's actually keeping you from the Ace of Cups. And it can actually be having you starting, you know how there's this thing with the loop here of like, you do the thing, you feel a type of way about it, you think about leaving, then you get scared, and then you go back into it. It feels like now you're at the point where you're at the end of the cycle again, and it's like, are you going to go back into it, or are you going to leave this time? Are you going to go back into the cycle again, or are you going to break the cycle this time? If you go back in, it is like a new chapter technically with the Ace of Cups, but I'm seeing the Devil be attached to it. So it's like, yet again, another fake Ace of Cups. Like, see how this energy is here? So it'll like look like the Ace of Cups, but then you find out the Devil is behind it, so it's not like a real Ace of Cups. And that's what this cycle has been about. But this can be something that is really hard to break the cycle of, because you're going to have to face some stuff that you may feel like it's, I don't know, like the devil for each of us is going to be our own thing that feels like probably one of the most difficult things to face within life. But until it's something that we face, we are never going to fully connect with what we want to connect with, because we're just going to keep getting substitutions for what we're really looking for. But you have to face this. And there is also a realization that has to be made that this is a substitution for what you're really looking for on a deeper level. That this is a very surface level solution, if you even want to call it that. And something going on with Neptune, and this needing to be realized here, because the vibe with Neptune is that until you're in a high vibrational energy, channeling a high vibrational energy with Neptune, and if you have any type of hard aspects within your birth chart with Neptune, look at that. Look and see if you have any conjunctions with Neptune, any oppositions with Neptune, any squares with Neptune specifically. If you have any of that going on with Neptune and any of your personal planets, something that you are going to have to face during this lifetime is going to be where you may feel like you found an answer and you've actually just been bypassing and it's not for real. And you have to find a way to move through that. Because when we're bypassing, it's like you don't do the work, you think you've arrived at the conclusion or the solution, only to find out that it's not. Because the work wasn't done and you didn't take the right path, and you're supposed to be over there and you ended up over there, but you think that it's over there. It's going to be like this type of thing. So having to work with that energy of Neptune can be very complicated. It's complicated because the energy of Neptune is like you think that you're on track, and then when you take a closer look, you see that you're actually totally off track. And that's why this energy can be so tricky, because it's not like High Priestess energy where you're just ignoring your intuition and you know that you're going the wrong way and you're like, whatever, and you're still doing it. Neptune is like, yeah, you're going the right way, and you're like convinced that you are, and then you look and it's like you're about to fall off the cliff. That's why this energy is so tricky to work with. Like, Neptune is so slippery to be trying to work with. And so having to work through something like this, it takes a lot of revelations. It takes a lot of shadow work moving through this. It takes a lot of going into the internal landscape and assessing and going beyond that surface level conclusion that we come to. And how you'll know that you're in a cycle of Neptune is that something's going to feel off. It's like you look in the mirror and it ends up being like a slight like fun house mirror a little bit, and you're like, that's weird, and then you keep walking, and it's like when you look back at it, you'll see there were all of these little clues speckled upon the path, but it's almost like something weird going on where we don't really like realize, but you'll know that you don't feel totally centered and at peace. There will be something going on within you that's like trying to get you to listen, but it can be really hard to hear that. It's like an echo coming from somewhere and you like don't really know where it's coming from, and you're like, maybe I just made that up in my head, and then you keep walking. And like something happens, I think, when we are in an energy where we start, like, when we're becoming more and more conscious as we move through this, you can start becoming more and more aware that like you're looking at the tree and it just like looks a little lopsided. It's just something where you're going to start noticing like something's going on here. And when I'm taking the closer look, I'm seeing that something's kind of off, but it'll be really subtle. So that's why it can be really tricky moving through these types of cycles. Something that can be helpful is if you feel like you're in some type of Neptunian process, and I want to say this, you can be in a Neptunian process with yourself. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with another person, but other people and other things can be involved, sure. But if you have Neptune stuff going on within your chart, this can very much just be something that is kind of like pervasive because it's like connected with your own energy. So this is something that if you look into that energy of Neptune, and even people that specialize in things having to do with like a high vibrational Neptune energy versus just like doing some type of bypassing and then us telling ourselves that we're there when we're really not, knowing the difference between this, it's going to be something that can be helpful. And if you're open to it and you get information about it, it is something that can really help you out here. Because all it's going to do is just say, like, point out, oh, you've been having this feeling all along, and this is actually what it means. And that your feelings and your thoughts about this have been actually trying to get this message across to you and get this point across to you. And it's going to just like clarify. It's like going to help you understand what the messages mean, essentially. And it's going to help you know what aligns for you to be connected with versus what doesn't, and where we even may keep ourselves places that we don't belong. That can be part of it too. Because I'm seeing with 5 of Swords and Ace of Pentacles, you can be like, okay, I'm stepping into this new chapter, but why do I feel this way about it? It's like if you're having an Ace of Pentacles, which is a new chapter that's supposed to be, like Ace of Pentacles on its own, it's the materialization of a new chapter where we feel like I'm choosing the things that are important to me, and so I get to manifest cycles that are connected with that. If that's really the case, why would you be feeling like this about it? If this is, you know what I'm saying? Like if this is a like clean slate, or it's like turning over a new leaf, or it's like this is the thing that I wanted, because Ace of Pentacles is like that new chapter that we wanted. If you wanted that, like why are you feeling 5 of Swords about it? Like what's that about? So there's going to be something about the way that things feel to you that it's going to tell you. But with all of this confusing energy that we have going on here, we don't always interpret it totally accurately. That can be the thing. And I know it can be really annoying to hear that in a reading. When I read for myself and I see stuff going on with Neptune, I'm like, well, just tell me what the answer is. I want to know. It can feel really frustrating going through these cycles for sure. But it's when you get it and things click, you're like, oh, it makes so much sense and it feels relieving. And when you feel that, you know that you've broken out of the spell of it. And until then, it just seems like something's going on, and like you don't know something, but you don't know necessarily what you don't know, like that. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.